There was a hunger in Zara. She stepped closer, her hand trembling. Without a word, Amara pulled her into a kiss. The kiss deepened quickly. They tore their clothes off in the flickering candle lights. In the kingdom of Nyoro, where the sun painted the skies with golden hues, Queen Zara's reign was a shimmering display of power, grace, and beauty. She was a queen adored by her people for her wisdom, but the glitter of her crown hid a soul that yearned for something more. Zara carried a loneliness so deep, it gnawed at her heart. Every day, her life revolved around royal duties, banquets, council meetings, and 1,000 tasks that demanded her attention. But in the silence of her chambers, where the weight of her crown pressed upon her, Zara often wondered if anyone would ever truly see her, the woman behind the queen. It was late one evening, long after the last of the nobles had left the banquet hall, that Zara found herself slipping away from her royal attendant. The moonlight filtered through the grand windows of the palace, guiding her steps towards a place she rarely visited, the royal kitchen. She had heard whispers about the new cook, a woman from a neighboring village, known for creating dishes that told the story of her homeland. But more than that, it was the way her name danced on the lips of those who speak of her, Amara. The kitchen was dimly lit, and the rich smell of herbs and spices lingered in the air. Amara stood at the hearth, her hands moving with practiced ease as she stirred a bubbling pot. The queen lingered in the doorway for a moment, watching as Amara walked. Her beauty was not the type that commanded attention at first glance. It was more subtle, a quiet strength, an energy that pulled Zara in without her even realizing it. Amara looked up, and when their eyes met, something passed between them, a spark, a silent understanding. Zara was no longer the queen standing before her, but simply a woman in need of something real, something beyond her royal title. "You are the new cook," Zara said, her voice softer than she intended, betraying a vulnerability she rarely showed. Amara's smile was shy, yet warm, like a hidden fire slowly growing brighter. "Yes, Your Majesty, I have come from the village of Tamu. They said the royal kitchen is the heart of Nyoro, and I wanted to offer something that would warm it." Something in her words resonated with Zara. They talked long into the night, first about the food, then about the people of Nyoro, their dreams, and their shared understanding of what it meant to serve. As the conversation unfolded, Zara realized how little she had truly known of the world beyond the palace walls. As Amara spoke with such passion, with such earnestness, that it felt like a balm to Zara's aching soul. With every word, Zara felt herself drawn deeper into this woman's world, a world where life was lived freely without the constraints of duty. Days passed, and Zara found herself returning to the kitchen, her heart pulling her back each time. It became a sanctuary, a place where she could be herself, but not just as the queen, but as Zara, the woman who was finding something in Amara that she has never known existed. Every meeting, every touch of Amara's hand as she passed her a cup, every quiet smile seems to be chipped away at the walls Zara had built around herself. It wasn't just the food that kept Zara coming back. It was Amara herself. In her presence, Zara felt alive in ways she had never felt before. Their talks grew more intimate, moving from casual stories to deep confessions. Amara spoke of her village, of her mother, who had died when she was young, and how she had learned to cook as a way of preserving her mother's memory. Zara spoke of her loneliness, of the weight of the crown, and how no one had ever truly seen her as a person. With Amara, she wasn't just a symbol of power. She was just Zara, a woman who longed for a connection that has always seemed out of reach. The palace was a labyrinth of secrets, and as Zara and Amara's bond grew stronger, so did the risk of it being uncovered. The queen's late-night visits to the kitchen did not go unnoticed. Whispers began to spread among the servants, their eyes following the queen with curiosity and suspicion. But Zara was no longer concerned with the eyes of others. In Amara's company, she had found a taste of freedom she had never experienced before. One night, as the palace lay in the depths of sleep, Zara slipped into the kitchen once more. The fire crackled softly in the hearth, and Amara was there waiting for her. They didn't need words to communicate. Their eyes spoke volumes. In that moment, Zara's heart raced with anticipation. Amara's presence was like a balm, soothing the tension in her body. But it was more than that. There was a hunger in Zara, one that had been buried beneath the surface for far too long. She stepped closer, her hand trembling as she reached for Amara's, their fingers brushing together. Without a word, Amara pulled her into a kiss, soft, tentative at first, as if testing the waters of their shared longing. But the kiss deepened quickly, becoming more urgent, more desperate, as the weight of everything they had kept hidden threatened to overwhelm them both. They tore their clothes off in the flickering candlelight. Amara's skin was warm beneath Zara's touch, and every inch of her seems to spark something inside the queen, a fire she could no longer suppress. Their lovemaking was slow, each touch and caress filled with a mixture of fear and longing, as though they both knew this might be their only chance. Zara felt as if the walls of the palace had fallen away, and the first time in years, she was truly free. In Amara's arm, she was no longer bound by the expectation of royalty. She was just a woman, and for that brief moment, they shared something pure, something that could never be taken from them. But as the night drew to a close, the reality of their situation began to settle in. They lay together in silence, their bodies intertwined. But the weight of the world was never far. Zara knew this was a fleeting escape, a moment that could shatter everything she had worked for. They both knew the danger that faced them, but yet neither of them could bear to let go. Days passed, and the intensity of their secrets grew. The councilman, ever vigilant, began to grow suspicious. He noticed the queen's late-night absences, her secretive glances towards the kitchen. He began asking questions, and though Zara tried to maintain her composure, she could feel the noose tightening around her. One fateful night, he entered the kitchen unannounced, catching them in an act of sharing a quiet moment. His eyes were full of disgust as he demanded that Zara abandon indiscretion. Zara was torn, her duty as a queen or the love she had found in Amara. The choice was impossible, and yet Amara, ever selfless, told Zara to save her kingdom, to save herself as well. She would leave, she said, if it meant Zara could keep her throne. The heart-wrenching decision was made. Amara disappeared from the palace, slipping away in the dead of night, leaving Zara to rule alone. But though Amara was gone, she was never truly absent from Zara's heart. Her love, though lost, would forever remain a part of Zara. It became a legend whispered among the people of a queen who dared to love beyond duty, of a love that could never be erased by tradition or time. And as Zara sat upon her throne, her heart heavy with grief, she knew that her crown would never shine as brightly, for it has been dimmed by a love that would live on in the shadows, a secret that could never be forgotten.